these Imbizos are different from all other Imbizos. We are not in Imbizos to listen to complaints of people only. We are in Imbizos to make sure that also as public servant, from political heads to administration, we give an account to people. We account on what we have done. We also listen to what our people are saying. It's not an Imbizo to come and listen to questions and people must tell us things that we know. Now, everybody else must be part of this. And everybody else that is working for the city of Matlosan must appreciate the salaries they are having by putting their weight and making sure that they listen to our people so that they can be a development in our city. Our city should start to develop. We can't do that overnight, but we can work towards it if we are committed in doing what is expected from us. That is the purpose of these Imbizos. We have went to Stelfontein, we did the same exercise. We went to Kuma, we did the same exercise. We went to Orkney, we did the same exercise. We went to Joburg, we did the same exercise. And I can tell you that when we leave a place and after an Imbizo and we follow up, we get positive results and our people are saying there is some improvement that we see. We've got good women and men that are willing to help and work hard, and I've seen that. But we also have those two apples that are a bit problematic that will make the remaining apples to be rotten. And we must work in making sure that if we have such apples, they are removed from the basket so that they don't contaminate these other apples that are fine. Now, that's the exercise that we are doing. I'm going to go straight to the purpose of this Imbizo. The purpose of this Imbizo is that we know, and when I'm done with this exercise, my MMCs are going to speak one by one and tell you that this is my department, I'm doing this, and I'm intending to do this. And the people that are paying services will be saying, we see you are doing this, but we are not happy with 1, 2, and 3 that you are doing. And you think we, as the citizens, think that you must improve on 5, 6, and 7. That's how we are going to run an Imbizo, and we are not going to be here forever. Because, you know, we are used to talking and talking and talking, and there's no work done. So we must talk less and work more. That's what we must do. Talk less, work more. So that is the approach of the Imbizo. This area that we came to, we have made our own assessment and analysis that one issue that needs to be addressed in this area is crime. This area is infested with crime, and it becomes our responsibility as the city, in particular working together with public safety, to think out of the box and make sure that we come with strategies to eradicate or eliminate these criminal activities that are happening in this area. We cannot invite or engage in economic discussions with this state of crime taking place. We can't engage investors when each and every time you open a Facebook or a TikTok, there's somebody who's being marked in the CBD. They are taking their phones, they are taking their wallets and so forth. And these activities don't have color. I must repeat, these criminal elements are not choosing a color. They don't choose a race. They don't choose a gender. They cut across. It's even worse. Even the elderly people are subjected to these criminal activities in the CBD. Now we must work very hard, Bracket, to come with strategies to make sure that we bring back the dignity of the city in fighting this crime. I know that there are programs that you are busy with, amongst them the resuscitation of your cameras in the city. You are busy with that, and we are looking forward to the implementation of that when you are done with that process, and that process must be fast. It must not be very slow. We must make sure that we look into the inspection of these shops that we normally don't want to speak about because we will be seen as being xenophobic. But when we see those things on Facebook and all these things, when cats are on top of food and people are selling rotten things to people, then we don't speak about xenophobia because we are afraid that we'll be crossing a line. But the fact of the matter is that the foreign-owned shops are not complying in most cases. And we must make sure that they comply. Our bylaws are implemented, and we search and strip every little corner in making sure that our people are sold things that are in standard. We must not be apologetic about it. We must increase our processes in the CBD. Here is my MMC, they called him, he arrived. Thank you very much. You are welcome. We are not going to fold our arms because these activities are taking away investment in the city. The city is becoming a ghost city because people are associating city of Matlosana with crime. So we must work together. We must work together with private securities so that we fight these criminal activities. And I want to take this opportunity also on the issue of crime to thank the private securities that are working with us, the groups that are formed by the society in their own neighborhood watches that are also helping us and working tirelessly in fighting these criminal activities. We must make a partnership with them and make sure that these activities are the end. And that the Ompilipo is forever posting cars that are stolen. They stole the tires every weekend. A tire is stolen and so forth. Now, those are problems that we see in the city. And we can't have such a city. Now, that is the major problem we're having, which is crime. We also have a problem here of the bylaws. We are not implementing our bylaws sufficiently. We must start implementing them. The city cannot be dirty, where people are throwing stuff everywhere they want to, as if there is no order. You know, where there is lawlessness, everything else will go haywire. So we must restore the city by bringing back law and order. So the bylaws must be implemented. That the kid must make sure that you strengthen. I know there's work that you are doing, just strengthen it so that we see the results. There are many stores that I don't know what is happening. Every corner of the city is a tire shop. Every corner. Get into left, they are selling tires. You get here, they are selling tires. It should worry us. And I'm told it's not only tires that they are selling. You need to work with the law enforcement and find out what is happening in these tire stores. So we must make sure that we limit and we regionalize who do we give business to as the city of Matlosana. There must be law and order. The issue of the street lights in the city of Matlosana is a huge problem as well. Because the street lights are a contributor to this crime I'm talking about. So when it's dark, bad things happen. I think that is why God says, let there be light. You know, I'm not really of a Bible person, but I know that there's a time where God said, let it be light, so that all these other things must not happen. So as electrical, we must say, let it be light, and give everyone the lights. But in the same breath, we are trying to put the lights that are not being stripped by people. We try to put our cables on top. Because we put lights today, somebody else there decides to remove the cables tomorrow. We must make sure that we also look into such things. The issue of sewer spillages in the city is real now. We used to have only limited areas that has sewer spillages, but now sewer is even going to town. where it never used to be. We must wage a war against sewer spillages. We must make sure that where we see a sewer is attended to. And we can only do that with the approach that I've said, that you can't know these problems if you have locked yourself in these offices here. Because your problems are not in these offices. Your problems are on the streets. So each and every MMC must make sure that they are on the street. And we only wear the suits when we go to council. I also have nice suits, by the way. Yeah, those who know me, that they know I have nice suits. Straight on. I got moist suits, man, they can. I only wear them in council. So if I'm not in council or having a meeting with people that requires me to wear a suit to make an impression, I'm on the work suits because my work is on the streets. So everyone else is expected to be on the streets so that we understand the challenges that our people are facing on the streets. We must move away from offices. The people we have employed to be in offices, they will be in offices. So that is the approach we are taking. The issue of potholes, it's a serious problem. It's a serious problem. I will come to that and I will tell you why. We are in a process of developing this city. Now, you can't develop it in the state that it is. So we must fight this structural defects in the city with everything else that we have. The issue of unemployment is also real. We used to think that unemployment is only in the townships, but unemployment is everywhere. The people used to work in the mines previously, the jobs are no longer there. Others, their businesses have died. During COVID, we know what happened. Now a lot of people are unemployed. Now, as we do this exercise of employment, we must make sure that it cuts across. I was saying to an Imbizo there that I want to wake up one day where I have a young person or any other member of society who says to me, I'm employed not because I know the mayor. I'm employed because I qualify. Now, we are going to make sure that we open up this process to everybody who qualifies. And I will come back to that. And we are going to do that. We must also remind the community members that there are services that subsidizes other services. Now, you can't complain about roads when you know that as a city, we don't have toll gates, right? So there is no way we generate money specifically for the roads, but we rely on electricity and water to subsidize the roads. Do we get each other? Now, it's important for us as community to become responsible and pay our services so that we are able to resolve these other problems such as roads, because we rely on water and electricity to service those things. But at the same time, the municipality must make sure that they give people services so that there is value for money. So that people are saying, I'm paying for my services because at least I see that a light is working. I will pay for my services because I see at least I've reported a sewer is being stopped in a day. It did not last 6 months. Now that is called value for money. Because the municipality is a business. We are running a business. We are not a municipality that is reliant on grants only, CFO. The grants can only take us from here to there. But we must become a self-sustainable municipality that can sustain itself because people are paying services. We also have a problem of water leakages, Gerard. It's a big problem. We must fight that problem, Tate Mongal. I know your team and Tate Tau, you are working hard. You just need support to be given vehicles on time and all the necessary tools to fight this problem. Because what we are paying for cannot be wasted on the street. Because if you say to us, we are owing Mid-Val 1 billion, and when that 1 billion, 200 million is on the road, in science we call it no work done. You are pushing against the wall. The wall is not moving. Now, the municipality must fight those water leakages everywhere they go. The issue of Eskom is very serious because of our, what do you call them, CFO? Losses. Electricity losses. Now, the electricity losses normally are caused by the fact that we have breached electricity. We're not buying electricity. We breached it. When you breach electricity, you are actually creating a mess for the municipality. Because Eskom says to you, as the municipality, I'm giving you electricity of 8 million to sell, but you are only bringing 5 million to me. Where is the rest? So I've given you this to sell, but you bring me nothing, zero. But the people have consumed the electricity. So it's in simple terms. It's like when you buy a box of apples for 100 rand, 100 rand a box. After selling that box of apples for 100 rand, you only have 50 rand. Does it make sense? So where is the remaining 50 rand? It means it's either those apples are rotten or they are stolen. They are missing somewhere there. So those, in technical terms, we call them losses, technical and non-technical losses. So we are fighting those losses. But we want to encourage our people, stop bridging electricity. You are creating a mess for the municipality. When Eskom comes and say we are attaching your account, you will be the first ones who says, that municipality is useless. But you are watching generations, but your meter box is 00. Or you are cooking a serious oxtail, watching generation and criticizing us, but your box is 00. Is it normal? So we can't be doing those things. We must work together as the municipality. Of course, we have our own mistakes as the municipality. That is why we're consulting with our people, so that we get advices from the people. Because the other mistake we are doing is to think that we know everything, whereas some of the answers are here. So we are here to consult you, to say to you, there is leadership in this municipality that is willing to work with you, not for Mahlope, for the development of the city of Matlosana, to see changes in the city of Matlosana, to see people saying when they leave here from Johannesburg to Kuruman or Kimberley and say, I'm going to sleep in the city of Matlosana because it's safe, and when they leave in the morning, they've spent their money in the mall and the money circulates in the city of Matlosana, or they've spent it somewhere here in the small businesses that we have. They use our guest houses because they believe and they see that the city is safe. This is a strategic city. It's 220 km from Mafikeng, 185 to Johannesburg, and another 235 to Kimberley. Now it says to you, we are a strategically located city in the corridor that we call the National Treasure Route, where people travel here from Mpumalanga all the way to Cape Town. And we've got an opportunity as the city to make sure that people use their money here and people entrust their lives, they are relaxing here, and so forth. So we are only going to do that if we work together. That is the reason we have called this Imbizo. So I'm going to quickly give MMCs, one MMC, 1 minute each, if not 2 minutes each, for them. Remember, they are new, right? But not new, but not new. So they will come, because this is an Imbizo of accountability. It's an Imbizo where the MMCs must say, I'm here, I've done this, and I want to do this. So that when we come again, you must say to the MMC, you came here and said you have done this, and it's not done. You know? If the MMC is going to come to me here and say, Swart Street, I've patched the pothole, Swart must stand up and after and say, you did not come. Come and do it. So that we have a sense of accountability. And they must say that I've done 60% of the roads, I'll be doing 40% in this period, and this is how I'm going to do them. So we are going to do that. And I think I've taken over now program director. I'm now the program director. I'm going to start with MMC Community Services because it's already there. Are you ready? You are ready? He's ready. He's going to do it. When they are done, 2 minutes each, now I'll give to the community for 2 things. Questions, advices, only. Solutions. We must move away from complaining. If we complain and bring a solution. So that we work together in making sure that there's somewhere that we are going. It's not going to help you complain and then we live here. We did not agree on what must be done. Community services, you'll do your introduction, your program, how you're moving, and then we move.
Good afternoon. Through you, the Executive Mayor, through you, Executive Mayor, in town we've got Ward 15, Ward 19, Ward 16, Ward 17, and Ward 39. In all those wards, we have done litter picking, Church Street, Plain Street, Golf Street, Anderson Street, Park Street, Lisk Street, Voortrekker Street, Noord Street, Emily Hope House, Nizahof, Delva Street, Boom Street, Dawkinsville Road, Corner Platan, and William Hayes. At the taxi rank also, Terminus taxi rank, Kuma Kanana taxi rank. We also managed to clean the illegal dumping site near Fire Department, Swart Street, near Subs, Platan near Matrosana Gardens, Ultra City at the back, Park Street also. We also managed to planning and cleaning of old cemetery with sports, arts and culture. We did cover Van Menkie's Clean and Mahala Week, cleaning of illegal dumping site near railway station where the Pelo Pepper train is, litter picking on N12 also, pruning of trees of N12, in partnership with Leano Labophelo, EPWPs. I think, Majoro, this is what we managed to do as the department from Tuesday until yesterday. Thanks very much.
No, it's fine. No, don't clap. We have not done anything. We remember this exercise. We are saying when you go to a place, do something, and then come back and do again. So I did not want MCs to come here and listen, and they've not done anything. No, but we will go to them when we are done, so that you ask them, when are you coming here? This one is not done. I think you can do this, right? The next MMC, no, Ntate Mangezi says his is a long list. He needs to be jumped. We must jump you also, technical. You'll come. They say ladies first. I think I've got gentlemen in my team. MMC, Human Settlement, are you ready?
Ripelile Huyanand, good evening. My name is Poshiam Chaulana, Ward Councillor in Ward 12, also the MMC of Planning and Human Settlement. I greet you all in the name of Jesus. I'll start with number 1, socio-economic survey. Housing conducted socio-economic on the informal settlement in Dawkinsville. There is a population of 65 people. Amongst them, there are Lesotho citizen, Eastern Cape, Mpumalanga, KZN, Northern Cape, as well as Free State. The department established the informal settlers involved in the recycle of the economic survival. LED will be involved for possible intervention. Women settlement will be also intervene in terms of accommodation. Number 2, the registration of title deeds. Our investigation revealed that 10 houses in Dawkinsville belongs to the municipality, awaiting registration and delivery of the 10 title deeds to the municipality. The third one is the demolition of vandalized buildings or houses. Department is cleaning the city by demolishing vandalized buildings. On Monday, we managed to demolish the one house in Velkopis, 143 Roadman Street. On the 17th, yesterday, we managed to demolish 2 houses in Dawkinsville, address 19 and 24 Ivan Walker Street. Ward committees and ward councillors are encouraged to report vandalized buildings housed to manager housing of the chief inspector's building. That's what we managed to do from Monday till yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is not my report. It's not coming to me. It's coming straight to the people. There is a how, I don't know what is that. I normally, when I'm tired, late, I get into social media. I'm not in social media, but I have a way to get in. There is a complaint, MMC, of Klerksdorp, and it was a lot of people who complained that there are houses that are problematic in Klerksdorp that needs to be demolished. You are in the process, yes. When I see those things, we just deposit them, because you must listen to what people are saying. So I check in the municipal, you post your programs, and people were happy and positive about this, to say it's dealing with crime, because a lot of things are happening in those buildings. But they further said, we have identified this and that, please attend to it. So there's positiveness around these things that are turned into a criminal place and drug place. So we must deal with them as soon as possible. The next MMC.
Molweni, Sanbonani, my name is Councillor Poshia Mkoto. I'm the MMC responsible for corporate support. As you know that we are having a problem of unemployment. It's a serious problem, not only in our municipality, but around the country. We are still having a problem of unemployment. Only in Northwest, we are having 54% of people that are unemployed. That shows that we are having a serious problem on it. My department deals mostly about administration issues and the building of the municipality and their maintenance. From June until September, we have done the recruitment unit. In Klerksdorp, we have employed 7 people who are staying in Klerksdorp, that are cashiers. And then we have we have learnership that is 9, and internship that is 27 in Klerksdorp. Tihani, we are having 7 employed, and then internship we are having 6, and then learnership 9. Alabama is 1, and then internship is 4, and learnership is 8. Kanana is 3, and learnership is 20, and internship is 9. The Joburton we are having 10 employed, and then internship is 46, and then learnership is 25. Orkney is 3 who are employed, and then internship is 18, learnership is 1. And then Stelfontein 2 who are employed, 4 internship, and 1 learnership. Kuma is 4 who are employed, and internship is 15, learnership is 4. And we are still doing a verification of employee. It's an ongoing thing. So when you want to access, or when you want to be in the data of our HR, you have to bring your CV so that you can be in internship or learnership. You have to bring your CV, ID copy, and qualifications, so that when further service provider, they come to our municipality, maybe to ask or create programs through the municipality, we just go to those qualifications and make sure that we pull from the database that we are having. Thank you, Mayoral.
Thank you very much. There is an issue that I'm not going to stop talking about till it's resolved. So every platform, whether I have an Imbizo in that corner, behind the toilet, everywhere I'll speak about it. Corporate MMC. And I know you are working on it. You must work on it every day till I see it resolved. I think you know it, that issue.
Yes, Mayoral, I do know it. The problem of people with this disability, they can't access our municipality building. We are working very hard, especially with the lift that we're having. It's almost 5 or 6 years it was not working. But I just want to emphasize that next week, people with disability, they will be having access to our municipality. They will be able to go in each and every offices that they want to go in. Can you please clap hand for that? Because it's been too long. Don't say no. Thank you.
No, it's I wanted to remind her that I'm not gonna stop talking about it. So when they greet me in the morning, I enter this building and they greet me, I show them the door that you see. They must know that what I'm talking about. It cannot be us who speaks about access, but we are denying people with disability access to the municipality. It must be us that speaks and correct it. So it can't be correct that it's been 5 years and it's not there. So it means for the past 5 years, our disability people could not access this thing. So how are we going to give them any other service if they can't come to us? It's not correct. So in each and every Imbizo, each and every meeting, each and every corner, in church, in where, I'll speak about it till it's resolved. Are we all clear? And I will only rest if I see a ramp there and a lift working. I told them that if it means I must go and hire a wheelchair and climb on top of it and test whether it's working, I will do it. I will do it. I will go and say, hire me a wheelchair there, borrow me a wheelchair in one of the places. Let me see as to whether a person can enter here. Because that is a very sensitive condition. that we must not undermine and take it light. It's not by choice that they are like that. And they all deserve to be inside this municipality like every other person. So we are not going to stop. It's your priority number one in your list. They must get access. The next MMC is the MMC in the office of the mayor. Transversal issues.
Dumelang. Ke mokhutshwanyane. Evening. My name is Elizabeth Mabebe, MMC of Transversal Issues in the Office of Executive Mayor. Transversal Issues Unit, Youth Desk, Program implemented, Career Exhibition, venue was at Joburton on the 12th of the 9th, 2024. The young people who have attended there, they were 250. Number 2, planned programs. Launching of Matlosane Youth Council. The targeting 100 young people. Venue will be in Chamber, 5 October 2024. Empowerment of wellness and sustained abuse prevention. Targeted 300 young people. Venue will be at Mukati Hall, Kanana. Date will be on the 2nd of November 2024. Disability and Elderly People Desk. Program implemented on the 29/7/2024. Venue was Museum in Klerksdorp. The purpose of that was to discuss on economy opportunity for people with disability. Participant, 8 provincial department and premier office attended. 4 department in local municipality attended. 75 with disability attended also. Planning programs, distribution of wheelchairs. Target 10 disability people. Venue ward base. Date, we will communicate with date, October month 2024. Distribution of 30 heads, sunglasses, and sunscreen lotion for people with albinism. Date, we'll discuss the date, October month also. Elderly nappies for 50 people, venue, also ward-based. Date, we will discuss the date, November month 2024. White paper on the right of people with disability workshop. Date during December, we will discuss the date, but in 2024. Women and Children Desk program implemented. High school debate in partnership with Safer South Africa purpose is to train or empower our children with intellectual capacity. Participant was 15 learners, and at Kekekani High School, I get this close. In partnership with Safe South Africa, other stakeholders was joined in on Youth Leadership Program, YLP. That was developed by the training firms to empower our children on debate program from the 13th of July to the 7th of September 2024. Participants, 15 learners from Monkey Street Secondary School in Kanana and 15 learners from Cecekani Secondary School in Joburton. Selection out of 30 learners, 6 were nominated to represent Northwest for national debate competition. 3 from Cecekani and the other 3 from Mokati Secondary School in Kanana. In the first leg of debate, they got 4th position. The second leg will be held on the 4th of December. The winner will then go to Cameroon to represent South Africa. Program implemented Women's Day celebration. The event was held on the 30th of August 2024. Participants, all women employees of the municipality. Venue was at swimming pool. Topic 1, how to raise a boy child. Topic was presented by Mrs. Ituteng. Topic 2, how to manage yourself as a woman in the society and in the workplace. The topic was presented by Dr. Rampel. Entry fee, donation, toiletries for boys and sanitary towels for girls. The event was successful. Planning program, visit to the family of abandoned child at Nassau. Women empowerment for ECD, Director of Matlosane, on SARS and labor issue like UIF, etc., etc. Executive Mayor visited the Matlosane Secondary School. Purpose is to congratulate and encouragement them for their performance at the music competition. Tech Soup, South Africa, and Microsoft 365, or rental for ECD on various townships. Thank you very much.
That was very, very long. Very, very, very long. But in the very long is we are. It's future. So we'll monitor those dates that are there, whether there is implementation. I heard you saying you had an event in the swimming pool. The swimming pool that does not have water. Huh? That swimming pool doesn't have water. So we can't be proud to host our events in that swimming pool. Yeah? So you choose a venue, you call it a swimming pool, does not have water. It used to be an Olympic swimming pool. Yeah? But it does not have water now. So we can't be proud to be hosting things in that swimming pool. That swimming pool must start to have water. And after it has water, they must fix that thing to become where it used to be. It's a state-of-the-art swimming pool. So in our planning of monies that we are taking there, let's put money in that swimming pool. We will continuously complain about drugs and all these things when our state-of-the-art facilities are dilapidated and kids cannot use them. What are we expecting them to do? They are bored. They will start to do things that are wrong. So let's fix that swimming pool. Next time when we are proud that the venue of the women's celebration in the swimming pool must have water in it. Yes. Finance. Here for the health, my bro.
lights and the electricity is the one that you are using to patch the potholes, the one that you are using to fix the lights that are not working, the one that you are using to stop that water leakages. Can we please stop bridging water? Others are breaking the meter restrictor. Others are joining straight to the network, bypassing. Can we really refrain from doing that? I am going to talk about the indigent subsidy registration that were approved. We are encouraging ward councillors to register people who are not having income, the elderly people that cannot afford, those that are earning less than 4,500 rand. We are really in Klerksdorp. Can we please help those people because they are unable to can pay for their services? Please help them to register for the indigent subsidy. For that subsidy, in Ward 15, we've registered Councillor Swartz, we've registered 262. In Ward 16, we have registered and approved 171. In Ward 17, we have registered and approved 124. In your ward, Councillor Stradom. In Ward 19, Councillor Lekranje's ward, we've registered and approved 347 indigents. In Ward 39, the one for former Councillor Walhorn, Honorable MPL, we've registered and approved 125. We go into this one of a supply chain management outreach program. We are starting tomorrow. We'll be teaching people how to enter into our database. The SCM group will be teaching the small SMEs how to register for the CSD. So tomorrow, that workshop is in Recreation Center. On the 27th, it will be in Kanana. On the 4th of October, it will be in Tehran. We are again pleading with women, youth, and disabled people to attend that workshop. Every month, Councillor Swartz, when you look at the 40 highest payment of these service providers, so let's also really deal with that. We are encouraging the indigent, the women, youth, together with disabled people to attend that, so that they must also be in our database. Going to the new accounts that were opened by the department. We do have 71 accounts that are opened. Going to the rent statement issued. We did have a problem with the SAPO, South African Post Office. When you move around Klerksdorp, you can see that all post office and depots are closed. We had a meeting with the SAPO together with the rescue team of that post office. We are only having one post office in Delcopis. That post office is a retail post office that is dealing with PO box and private bags only. They don't deal with the physical address. So, the orange bicycles, we only have 2 for the town. The suburbs here, we've got many suburbs. The 2 postmen cannot really assist in that. So in that one, we issued statement and encouraged the ward councillors to use the ward committees in Klerksdorp to deliver the rent statement to our consumers. Please, 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 let's encourage our ward committees to come. It is not for free. It is a little cent that they are going to get. Really, we need your help, ward councillors, for us to can deliver this rent statement. People cannot pay for their services if they don't know how much are they owing municipality. So the rent statement that we delivered for last month, Ward 15 Klerksdorp, we've delivered 3,558 rent statement. Ward 16, we've delivered 3,212 rent statement. Ward 17, Councillor Stradom, you are the highest. We delivered 5,930 rent statement. Ward 39, 3,678 rent statement have been delivered. So we also encourage the consumers, when you sign the attendance register, can you please write your email address there so that if that rent statement is delayed, you do receive your rent statement through your email address. We are pleading with you. Write the email address next to your name when you sign the attendance register. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You know, I'm one person, I listen very careful. If you are not listening, don't count me in. Now I listen. 1. The MMC of corporate was standing here saying to us, the unemployment rate is 54% in the Northwest. You heard her, ne? She said it. Now, we seem to be contradicting ourselves. We want to fight unemployment. We've got an opportunity to give somebody a stipend. We don't do it. We give to the ward committees who are already getting a stipend. But you've got young people who can deliver these things who have 0. There is no sense there. We seem to be, we're not doing things right. We are not doing things right. So you can't indicate left and turn right. Ne? You indicate left, but you turn right. There's an opportunity. Instead, I get these ones of ward committees are getting something already. Why do we double it for them when there's somebody who has 0? Who can deliver this thing? So the municipality look into creating a space for those that are 0, who must put bread on the table. Create that space. They will walk and deliver those things and get a stipend. You know, I was interested. They said, no, MMC finances, it's not for mahala. We give them something. I said, yeah, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. Now, MMC finance, CFO, acting MM, corporate, look into a model that is not going to compromise us as the municipality. And if there's an opportunity to put bread on the table for others, let's do it. That's my request to you. Secondly, supply chain through the MMC of finance says to us, tomorrow they are calling a workshop for small businesses to teach them how to get into a what and what, ne? The database and what. That is very difficult for our people to get in. After they get into that, you don't incubate them. You make them to compete with big giants in the same space. The municipality must think about incubation program in particular for them. To say we've got these businesses and these SMMEs, we'll move them from being a toddler to being an adult and we leave them to move. That is the responsibility of this team. Think about incubating these small SMMEs so that they can stand on their own and be biased to the youth, women, and people with disability. When you are not disabled. When during the day you are fine, at night you are disabled. No, that is the beneficiary of them. Tabis. No, it's fine. So that was on a lighter note. So we must make sure that we have an incubation program for these SMMEs. You know why we have a problem of this 30% and all these things? It's because our people are not being kept busy. They've got nothing to do. They are roaming around here and whatever. Let's keep them busy. But at the same time, let's teach people to move away from give me money, I will protect you. They must work for it. If they've got a person and they are subcontract, at least when they live there, their grading must go up. That's what we must do. So those are the things I want you to do. Make sure that we employ those young people for distribution who've got nothing on the table, including for the billing. I get you are complaining about bills, that your bills are incorrect. They must also be included. But check a billy, we are going to technical now. Technical and then electrical, then we are going to you. Let's move.
Thank you very much. I have to stand up and next to the executive because I see time is against us. Let me start by, once again, good evening. My name is Stefan Berens. I'm the MMC of Infrastructure. Let me, you are disturbing me, please. Security, please, man, is disturbing us. Once again, let me acknowledge the fact that we are really having a serious problem regarding our water leaks and our pipe bursts in your CBD and in your town area. The problem is there, we've recognized it. And then it's caused by old asbestos pipes, roots that's growing into the asbestos pipes, and then you'll have a pipe burst. We've got the business plan intact. We just need to have funding on our business plan to deal with all these old asbestos pipes, take them out and put new PVC pipes in, to replace them with new PVC pipes. And then I think the water leaks will be less. Also on our pressure valves, we need to replace them. We've got a meeting with Midval. Midval is also agreed to come and assist us in making sure that we are installing all our valves, our pressure valves, reduce the pressure that is coming out. Sometimes this pipe burst is caused by the pressure that's in the system. So this is on our water report. Now on our water report, usually it's a huge report. I can sit here and report the whole day. Because these reports, you get them, you've got about 20, 30 water meters that's been reported, pipers that's been reported. But I'm just going to go through quickly what we've done only for today. In Ward 19, there was a pipe burst in 107 Leak Street. And then stolen meter installed, new meter replaced, Anderson and Cox Street. Ward 17, Dwarrenkruin, pipe leak repair, pipe leak, 6 Buchanhout Street. Ward 39, Flamewood, installation of a new water meter, 6 Stem Street. Now those are the reports that I can give on the water section. We also acknowledge the fact that whenever our water guys are busy replacing a pipe burst, and then sometimes they just leave it like that. We've addressed it, and we've speak to the director to create a team that immediately when the water section is finished, that team must go and repair the paving, because in most cases, I still remember a lot of people were complaining to say that the water section is just leaving everything like that. So we need to work on that to make our communities happy, because most of the pipe burst is in beautiful pavings that's on the street. If you go to Dwarrenkruin area, you will see the pavings. It's beautiful places that is there, but when our water team goes in there, everything is just a mess. So we need to have a specialized team. We've agreed that whenever that pipe burst is fixed, they will go in there. Now, on the road section, I have to submit that from Monday up until today, we did not do much because it was a raining day. But however, today we started to work on our potholes. But now I want to comfort the town area specifically. We've identified a lot of streets. I'm going to read those streets that we are going to do resealing of roads. There's a difference between resealing and pothole patching. Resealing, I'm sure you've seen that there was a lot of roads that was damaged, and then we've resealed them. But because of the limited budget that we had, we could not go to all of them. But these roads, we are going to repair them, reseal them, as and when the budget is available. We've identified a lot of roads, especially in your CBD area, your Vleemoed, your Dwarrenkruin area. I even feel a little bit ashamed because I'm from the township, and the roads that I see here, it's a lot more than the roads that's in the township. I think township people are going to fight or be jealous to see how many roads we are going to reseal in your Dwarrenkruin area, your Vleemoed area, and all the other areas. But nevertheless, let me report on what we've done today only on the roads section. What's 19? Repair of speed hump in Voortrekker Street next to Ini Primary. Road patch, corner Voortrekker and Margrieta Prinsloo Street. Road crossing patch, Margrieta Prinsloo and next to Ellen's Market Street. What's 17? Installation of 5 speed humps, Buchanhout Street. Installation of 2 speed humps, Moranti Street. 126 square meters pothole patching, Voortrekker Street, Gouweweg, near Recreation. 5 times cat pit cleaned, Gouweweg and next to Sandwest. 3 times small channel cleaned, Gouweweg and Kerhof Primary. What 15? 2 times cat pit cleaning, John Parliament Street, 1 Jacob Street. Those are the streets that was done today, but as you can see, most of them were not pothole patching. But here comes the pothole patching now, streets that we are going to be doing as and when the budget is available. Now you must remember the budget is limited when it comes to roads. Our budget is not that big. We want to do more, we are just honest with you, but we have got a limited budget. Now these are the streets that we are going to be deal with in your CBD and town areas. Now in Lahof, your Vlekke, it's a little bit, your Peller, Kiel Block, Coates, Jasmine, Hobson, Micro, Amanda, Yerista. Those are Lahof. And then your Wilkop is Oosthuizen, Camille Doorn, Austin, Daville, Hertzburg, Scott, and Riedman. And then in your CBD, Noord and Kok. And then in Renselspark, Malopo, Jarkroeger, and Berg Rivier. Those are the streets that we are intent to do resealing as and when the budget is available. Now, as I was saying, Mayoral, our budget is very limited when it comes to resealing of roads. It all depends on our revenue collection. The more revenue we collect, the more we can do on our roads, the more we can do in all our sewer systems. Yeah, those are the ones. And then on your sewer, I know sewer, when you go to the location, you've not seen sewer in the CBD and the town areas. When you go to the location, you will see what is sewer. But I see now, in the last few months, the sewer have picked up in your town areas. I can contest to that. But we are monitoring it very nicely. We are running smoothly, especially in your town areas. It's just that we must make sure that it's not going the route of our township areas. And we need to educate our people not to throw your, what do you call this, your rags, your disposables, all of those things. We find a lot of things in our manholes, in our sewer systems that you cannot even think of. The other day, just today, I was showing the mayor that in Kanana, we find rocks as bigger than my head, holes, manhole full of rocks. So you can see what actually is happening. Sometimes people are sabotaging, throwing all these objects into the manholes, and those manholes are blocked, and then you have to go the extra route to get the jetting machine to clean all these manholes. But nevertheless, what I can safely say on the sewer side in town, we are monitoring it. I think that is all for infrastructure, Mayoral. And then we will be able also to do a little bit more going into this week, the following week, because of the rain that was disturbing us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Councillor Matume Mangesi. I'm member of Mayoral Committee responsible for electrical engineering in the city of Matosana. We have done some work in and around town. The following wards were attended in terms of the street lights: CBD, Ward 15, Ward 19, Ward 16, Ward 15, and Ward 17. The streets that were attended to is R30 next to Virgin Meat towards town. Anderson Street, New York Street, OR Tambo, Nizerhof, Irene Park, Klerksdorp, Elatin, and Odorp. Liemhays, Vessels, Belrush, Dandelion, Poplar, Osthazen, Mitchell, and Rosemary. Those are the street lights that we attended in town. I'm going to have another session. That is why I requested Mayoral that I get the last, due to the information that I must give to you as members of the community. As you all know that the system of electricity will be changing. On the 24th of November, we will be having to move from the old system to the new system. I'm going to read for you the notice from the Office of Cocta National Minister. Upgrading of your prepaid meter box. A critical deadline is approaching for prepaid electricity meters customers across the country. The current prepaid electricity metering software will expire on the 24th of November 2024. Failure to upgrade your prepaid meter before the deadline means you won't be able to recharge your meter with the new tokens, and you won't be able to have electricity. So the people who are buying from municipality, which is your Klerksdorp, Stilfontein, Orkney, Joburg, Alabama, and some parts of the farms. All of us, it is a must that we must upgrade your system. By so doing, there are other people who already upgraded their systems. Let me tell you how. There was a time this year where you bought electricity and then you were given on your slip, you got 3 numbers and your electricity at the bottom. Ne? Then when you go to your prepaid box to put that electricity, you punch first the first number, the second one, the third one. After that, then you punch the electricity numbers that you got. So I hope there are other people who went through those stages here. If I can ask you, did you manage to go through that stages, those who are buying electricity on a daily basis? Thank you very much. So I'm saying other people are behind with this program to reset their prepaid meter box. Those people are the ones who are not buying electricity. So the ones who are buying, they are already resetted their prepaid meter box. So we are going to plead with you so that come the 24th of November, you are able to buy or get your electricity. If you have not done that by the 24th of November, you must know that your box, your prepaid meter box, will be expired and is going to shut down. You won't be able to access electricity, have electricity in your house. So that message is very much important. We are having about 52,000 meter boxes around the areas I have mentioned, those who are buying from the municipality. So as we speak, we are requesting that about 19,000 people have not yet moved from the old to the new system. That's why the MMC has been going around wards addressing community meetings with the invitation of the ward councillors. So we are going to request that about that 19,000, we are talking about Joburg, Alabama, Klerksdorp, and other areas that are buying in the municipality. So we need to move with speed so that we are able to go to the new system. With those words, Majoro, I hope I have delivered a very important information to the people of Klerksdorp. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much. We now get to the actual program of now engagement. So we are going to do it orderly. Masoso, you'll come. We are going to do it orderly. We are going to start from this side. I'm going to note hands from this side. Let me see the hands from this side. I'm going to start Welsh. Let me start at the front. 1, my good sir. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Welsh. In that order, you just say your name, where you stay, and then you make your comment, your question is noted, then we come to this other side. Let's do it orderly, in that order.
Hello, Mr. Mayor. Can I carry on?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. My name is Kleinans, and I work for Ward 15 as a committee member. I've got a few queries here. First of all, the inspection reports that we send in. We never get feedback on what is done. I know some of the MMCs have said that certain jobs have been done, but I've had a report on a variety of things, including potholes and everything. Potholes, lights. I've got a list of lights here for Eland here. And I was going to say I was going to give this to the electrical MMC. So you can have a look at this. In fact, give it to you now. This is a record for the last 4 years in those streets. And I've checked every light. And I don't know what's happened in between, whether they've come to correct them. But I also re-verified on the 23rd of July. This had a look. And there are certain, there's only 11% burning in Elandia. Of lights, 253, there's only 11% burning. The rest are dead. And I know there's reasons for that, but as I say, something must be done about it because it's a high-risk area. Okay? The next thing is dilapidated houses there. I know the MMC has spoken about them, but not mentioned our Ward 15. We've got houses there that need to be attended to because there are criminals living in those houses. And the list has been given through Councillor Swart to the Speaker's office. Debt collection, if it's done by a contractor, they must be paid a percentage of the recovery, not a monthly fee like R1 million, but they collect 10,000 rand. That is a bad thing, that. So there we're losing money there if this is the story. I know debt collection has gone back to the municipality for their staff to do it, but I don't know where we are now with this, as I say. And then dumping. Dumping is a problem still, and I think it's being attended to. I've heard that there have been recoveries, but there's Kitao Street in Elandia, and it's next to a substation, and there's a whole lot of people just drop stuff there. And I don't know if it's going to be a commitment from council to clean that place. Okay, that's all I've got, thanks.
No, thank you. That was straight to the point. Next speaker.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. My name's Billy. I live in Ward 15 in Collierville. And I think the big problem we have is vehicles. Whenever we hear about water leaks, there's no vehicle available. When there's electrical problems, there's no vehicles available. But drive past the vehicle park there in Ward 15, and there are cars deteriorating, flat tires. I mean, really, that park is so full that there is not enough space for more vehicles anymore. And I think that is where a lot of the problems lie. Get the vehicles on the road and the guys can get the work done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Vehicles, you have heard, right? And it's something that we know and we must work on it.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Herman Rood speaking.
Herman.
Yes, I just want to talk about water meters, electricity. We know what the problem is with the leakages, but there's another big problem, and that's water meters that do not register. They're all broken. So I'd like to know, and we can draw statements, how many meters do not register, electricity and water. In that case, a person uses water, but he's not paying for it. I've reported how many of them, nothing has been done. So we haven't got vehicles. Even with the prepaid meters, you can control that to see who's not buying electricity from a certain prepaid meter. If you look at the credit control policy, it says every 3 months the meters should be checked. Now, I don't think you've got the personnel to do that. Then the last thing I want to talk about is the arrears. We all say we have to pay our accounts, that's fine. My question is, how do we allow a person to get behind with 50,000 rand? And it's not for 1 month, it's for nearly 18 months. My question is, has that household been cut? Now, if you go and look at the system, you'll see it's been cut about 8 times, but it's been put on again. And we can see who did it. And then also the credit control policy states that if you cut, or the ordinance states, if you do not pay your account, it's going to be put off. If you keep on connecting your meter illegally, you're going to remove the cable. And that owner is responsible for the cable if it has to be put back. Same with prepaid meters. If there's tampered with the meter, it should be removed, and also the cable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's more of an alert to the municipality that there are a lot of things that we are not doing right.
Honourable Executive Mayor, MMCs, councillors, employees, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. The name is Vic Delport, a retired pensioner residing in Klerksdorp. The monthly Imbizo notice in the Klerksdorp record last week, or before that, do not indicate a time, date or venue where Hartbeesfontein residents will have their turn. Secondly, when will the oversight report on 2022-23 be adopted by Council and their comments thereon? And when will the accounting officer make that public? My sincere appreciation to the municipal manager for including my 12 typed pages, comments and inputs on the budget for the first time in 14 years of Matlusana's history. However, the minutes of the 2 budget meetings do not contain any indication that it was handled by Council and the Executive Mayor at all in accordance with Municipal Financial Management Act. As amended, the following is a few of the items that was submitted and has grown, as we have grown accustomed to, not ever was an answer in all these years received on inputs on budget. The 2 main things, I don't want to go through each and every one. With your permission, I'll handle, thank you. With your permission, I'll handle a couple of them. One, for the last 14 years, no council policy was ever handled with public. With electricity at 38% and water at 58% distribution losses, there is no policy to management of contribution losses and to promote conservation and efficiency. That is according to a government gazette dated in 2009, which is already 15 years ago. The water you need for the pool can be found from that 58% losses. I thank you for your positive attitude and promises of getting answers on what we are saying. After the approval of this year's budget, there are 2 items I'd like to address. The first one is property rates. At the Imbizo held at the beginning of the year after the tabled budget, it was advertised and told to the public that the increase will be 4.9%. If you go to, only in August was the increase applied to accounts. If you have a look there, people were promised an increase of 4.9%. If you have a look at all the advertisements on the tariffs for property rates are all fruitless expenditure. The first one that appeared in the newspaper was done after the approval of the budget by a minority. Legislation requires a majority. At the second one, that is only advertised last week and today in the record, it's falling outside the window of the legislation. It says within 60 days. It's not the case. And all those tariffs there are at 6% instead of the promised 4.9%. The same applies to basic electricity. Promised the people basic electricity, basic water will be 4.9%. That is how it was advertised in the record. But if you come in and have a look at August accounts, water for sure is 4.9%. But if you go back to electricity, which should be 4.9%, it's 11.25%, the increase. More than almost triple what it should be. What has happened is that the tariff for basic electricity, that the increase was applied on the same percentage as NERSA. NERSA's got nothing to do with basic charges. If I may mention a couple of other problems. If you have a look at tariffs, the sewage tariffs, if you'll give me a second here. Basic sewage tariffs, the structure was established in the 1960s. It remains unchanged since metrication and the merger of Klerksdorp, Klerksdorp and Hartbeesfontein, as well as the townships. The outdated approach, coupled with the lack of action on revising the 64-year-old drainage service structure, persists despite a council resolution made over a decade ago to have this revised. If you have a look at refuse, on your monthly account there's basic refuse. There doesn't exist such a tariff. There are two tariffs: domestic refuse removal and basic refuse removal for businesses. Refuse is the only tariff that does not have a basic charge. The bottom line of this is not a single empty stand in Klerksdorp is paying a contribution to council for refuse removal. If you take water, there the increase was correct. But there's a single sentence I'd like to elaborate on. The closure of accounts. Well, I'm not a linguist, but if you go to the dictionary, it says there it should be closed. And closure refers to ending a debate. Another thing is, we all know the airport outside here. This is one of the classics. I've been struggling for 3 years to get one account of consumption there. The council resolution says the tariffs are inclusive of that, and they should pay for electricity and water. However, if you get to their contracts, it says exclusive of that. Now, which is the correct one? Which one is applied in finances? And
the last one.
I don't think so.
And then you submit that document for us to process it, because everything is written.
everything is in there,
Yes.
but this is only a couple of things.
So this is the same as that.
No, yeah, this is exactly the same. but
Okay, proceed.
these are only a couple. If you go back to the council meeting, nowhere in the minutes was it minuted that my inputs were taken into consideration by council nor the executive mayor. I thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a very thick document that we'll have to get into. The next speaker.
I'm Audrey de Beer, a pensioner, a SASSA pensioner staying in Ward 39 in a garage with Chinas. Okay, I only want you to know, I only want to ask you one question. Your Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Mercy Fetler, is she still in your employment? She's on the payroll. She's sitting maybe at home, getting a hell of a salary, doing nothing, but there, she's got a 1.4 million Volkswagen Amarok from GMHM Construction and Projects. She made payments to Variegated Pty Limited to the amount of 2.9 million. In June, the council irregularly appointed McKeever as an independent investigator to investigate the Variegated Pty Limited transaction. This report exonerates her of any wrongdoing despite the Hawks and National Prosecuting Authorities' damning investigation. Clearly, you, Mr. Mayor, you and your ANC people are protecting her. You are protecting her. And listen, I'm almost done.
This is an Imbizo. Let's allow her. She's got every right to express herself.
It is now
She's not out of order. Speak, we will respond. This is government that is listening to people.
Okay, and then it has now come to light that Ms. Fetler once again defied the law by issuing irregular and fraudulent payments to GMHM, which gave her the Amarok of 1.4 million, constructions and projects on 5 October 2023. The City of Matlosana issued a regular requisition order for the supply and delivery for paraffin. Paraffin for what? Of the amount to 6,192,598 rand 40 cents. November 8, another payment, 3,499,478.80 was done. 7 December, another payment, 6,192,598.40 was done. January 2024, a third payment of 2,693,119.60 was done, totaling up to 12,385,916.80, which is exactly the double amount initially of the requisition. You asking us to pay for water and electricity, but that's how you use our money. It doesn't work like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's fine. We're not going to. Can we just listen to each other? When I open, no, it's fine. You can sit, ma'am. You did nothing wrong. You know we are in a democracy, but this democracy must be guided. I've made a clear indication when we started that let us not politicize service delivery. We are in an Imbizo of the executive mayor of the city of Matlosana. And we are going to note each and every comment and question, no matter how agitated you are. We'll listen to you, we'll note to those things, we will attend and respond to them. You see, I'm not going to be agitated. You've got a right to be agitated. I'm going to manage your agitation properly and fine, and we will live here, all of us fine. Nobody is going to be agitated. Now, there's going to be a difference between myself and the people who are seated this side. So I'm not going to be agitated. I'm going to manage your agitation. Are we fine? Yeah, that's going to be my responsibility. I'm going to manage that agitation 100%. So I'm going to be managed properly. Let's start. Tabis, I think, do you reside here?
Yeah.
You don't
You said
reside
number
here.
8. You said
This
number
is
8.
in the, I never know, this is an Imbizo of
You have
residents
no
of
faith in
here.
me.
You are
You
a
take me for
resident
granted.
of
You take me
Jombete.
for granted.
Thank you, Major. My name is Ompinyana Lepoi from Ward 16, 110 von Villar Street.
No, it's fine, let's not be distracted by Tabi, so let's focus on the Imbizo.
Major, I was going to speak to 5 points: indigent subsidy, Amatrope marshals, town wards, which I refer to as the golden goose, employment opportunity for town wards and forensic investigation, and 70-30 policy that I believe should be scrapped. So, given that you know this town so well, Major, most of these points you have outlined, and I believe that you know your town. So, Major, I'm going to speak to 2 points only. I'm going to start with the 70-30 policy, electricity policy that I believe should be scrapped. That policy, Major, I can guarantee you, people want to start buying electricity, but this 70-30 policy is not working out. Imagining having to pay to buy electricity of 200 rand and you get only 60 rand units. It's not viable. It's demoralized people to buy electricity. I believe if we can just scrap it for 3 months and see the results, I can assure you, Major, people are going to start buying electricity because the policy is not working. Hence, people are busy stealing electricity. And human settlement department, I need to actually applaud human settlement department because we've been having a problem in Lahore for years. There has been a house, dilapidated house in Lahore. I'm reliably informed by the councillor that on the 4th of October that house is going to be demolished. I applaud you for that. But equally, Human Settlement Department, I'm also disappointed in the same breath to say that you are allowing UNIS to make spaza shop all over the town. It's making passage shop, it's buying buildings and making spaza shops there, and you are allowing it. I don't know how do you start to approve such plans. Now, recently, the city mall, they have purchased the city mall. It almost collapsed the city mall because it's busy with the same passages there. I don't understand why would you grant approval for such things. I don't know where this plan is being submitted to or whether he's doing it illegally or not. I don't understand, but please give cognizance to the fact that UNIS is messing up this town. And the last but not least, Major, when it comes to issue of estimations of water and electricity is becoming a huge problem for towns ward, because you get these people that are reading water, they are not reading. They are standing there by the corner there and then just give you estimations as to last month you consumed 1.5, now perhaps it can be 1,800 or 1,400. It is wrong. Maybe you're supposed to move from this system of manual and let's go to digital to have accurate readings, because it's not working out. You can, for the whole month, they're not being at home, but when it comes, you get the same bill as last month, or even more. It does not make sense. So, Major, let me, because due to times, and I can see that now it's getting dark, let me just pause there. Thank you.
Welsh, and then I'm going to cross to this side, as I've indicated. Tatebelebe Spotaka. Raskaroba principle. We have passed, the train has passed. You will ask me when we, yes. The train this side has long left the station.
Major man, can I lay some other issues? I'm very much concerned about, I think it's one of the most incompetent department, which is communication. It's not functional. For example, we don't have a website, and we are one of the most biggest municipality. The second one, we've got money-making organization, which is Fresh Produce Market. And it also does not have a website where they inform the masses of the people with the prices of commodities that they are selling. And I don't know, maybe the director of LED and also the MMC there's no verification for all the people who have committed crimes, whether in Kuma, Kanan, and everything. It's turning to be a hub where people are hiding themselves at fresh produce market. It's a hub because also there's no security facilities there. So you must clearly understand that business is going out of city of Matlosana. And the other issue there at the fresh produce market, there was an investment of more than 50 million where they established an apartment at the back. But it's not going to be functional for the next coming 5 years because one of the defects is said the roof of that place does not meet the standard of fresh produce market national. It's a fruitless expenditure. And we are also having a problem because that site is a municipal buildings. And I'm gonna try to be, we've got overland. Overland has got a lease agreement. It's an evergreen contract. There's another shop, they call it Daily What. It's an evergreen contract. But here's the catch. If the lease agreement is, maybe they are paying 80,000 for the lease agreement and they are utilizing the electricity of 140, which has been incurred by the municipality. There's a deficit of 40,000. So I think we must look into that matter. And Mayoral, in terms of the electricity, MMC of electricity and MMC of infrastructure, I fail to understand because the municipality always, you give us a bill that we must pay for water and electricity. But I beg to differ and I'm going to confirm it. And maybe one of the employees of the municipality must give you a report tomorrow to tell you when was the last time an employee of the municipality, an employee of Midval went on site at water pump station. I don't know, Mayoral, are you aware that all the pump stations, they belong to the municipality, but their management belongs to Midval? How do we know that those people have given us 10,000? That exercise was done by only one guy who was working for municipality, and he left 5 years ago. How certain we are that the water that you are getting from Midval and the bill that you are paying to Midval, it's balanced? The same thing with electricity. So we don't have any problem to pay our rates and taxes and everything. But justice must also be done to us. There must be verification. Because we don't know. Every month we are being told that ESCOM is owing 200 million. But are we certain that the electricity that you are getting from ESCOM, it's equivalent to 200 million? That's our problem. I thank you, Major.
No, thank you. That problem will resolve it. Don't clap hands. At least I've got a little bit background of that process. You know, the technical and not technical losses. My interest is on the one that we have used. This other one of non-technical, I'll resolve it with ESCOM and Midval. But yours, I know how much you owe me in electricity. That one I know. We'll get into that. That other one is because it's between me and Midval. We call them the technical losses. Yours, I know how much you owe me. I want that money of electricity. Let's come to this side. Masoso, Ma'am, Date Belebese, 4, let me do this. 1, 2, 3.
Good evening, residents of town-based. Hey, I've noted so many, but let me start where I feel it's important. I am not here to campaign for the African National Congress, but Mayor, the Executive Mayor, I want to tell you that you have appointed directors. I'm not sure how often do you review their performance agreement vis-a-vis service delivery. Because whether we like it or not, directors are appointed for making sure that what the government of ANC wants and leading as a leader in this municipality are implemented. I feel there's a big gap, if not slim line, between technocrats and democrats, and there's little less accountability from their side. The second one that I want to comment on is on education. MMC, I'm highly disappointed. I'm not sure if this municipality has got database of graduates. We cannot be standing here after 30 years talking about learnership and internship. It cannot be good. Today we are stuck with directors that are not home-based. Because you do not know how many of us out there who are educated to be employed and work for our municipality. And you mentioned so many internship and learnerships for Joburton or township wards. What about us in town? We are having unemployed graduates of young people that are never considered. The fact that DA is leading town-based places, it does not mean you must deprive the African people the right to be given opportunities. The other thing that I want to say, Mayoral, as a recommendation, you spoke about crime. How I wish that the municipality can employ traffic police officers, especially in the main street of Church Street, or what do we call it now, Nelson Mandela, to ensure that people are not being mugged, people are not being taken their things away. So, Department of Public Safety, if we can look into having traffic office police officers that especially that will work at Home Affairs area. Home Affairs is being used by everybody, and not everybody is safe to be around there, including ourselves. That is one of the crimes that are growing in town. And the other thing, Mayor, Mayoral, I have in so many times requested community services to come and cut trees that are on our streets, not to cut them holistically, but to reduce them, cut the branches that are overlapping on the street lights. I've brought my mommy here. Boys got into her house and she lives alone. She's my neighbor. Through those branches of trees that belongs to the municipality. Trees that are on the street, they do not belong to us. And it is the duty of community services under NEMA to ensure that we are in a safe environment and trees that are not wanted are cut out. So we are also being targeted for crime. Please. The other thing that I want to also mention, Mayoral, it is the billing system versus meter reading. It has been covered, that one. I don't want to go there. Dirty graveyards. Our graveyards are filthy. They are dirty. And on electricity, Mayoral, we the people of Marines Park and Songroet and Ditlekville go that side, we are quite aware that there was an outsourcing of street lights maintenance. And we know the company that has been given that work to be done. I don't know how much are you paying. Maybe the director for electricity must inform you how much are they paying that guy for maintaining those street lights that are dead. You go to Vessel Street, I've heard a report now that there are lights. I've not seen lights there. So, as much as we want to pay our rates and taxes, can justice also be done to us? I want to also to say to you, Majoro, that we are having a case that is in the court of law against the CFO. We feel that we are obliged, you are obliged to tell us as rates and taxpayers what is happening there. What is happening with the money that is being revenue, that is being collected in our finance department, and what happened to this case, if there's any case. Because we cannot read things on the newspaper, yet we are residents here. We are paying taxes and rates and taxes. The last one, we are having land affairs here, but in terms of property assessment, the municipality does not have a unit that goes out and assess our houses. That is why when you want to sell a house, the municipality tells you that your house worth 200,000, whilst money that you've put there is more than that. And when banks come back to tell you that your house worth 780 or 900,000, your deputy director in the housing will tell you the different stories. So people that are leading on the management echelons, please, can they do their work before they tell us what our houses are worth? Because we know that we've spent money on renovating those. And Ntate Bikanyu, in Ilari School, children are not being knocked down there. We have requested and written letters to your predecessor to say, can they review in street for it to have one way down there and then the cars come up there? Because little children are being knocked down by taxis there. So we want a one-way runway to that side, and then they must come back with a first street, because people are really getting injured there. Lastly, Extension 9 Stadium Major. I've seen the Minister of Sports, Art and Culture sometimes 2-3 weeks back there. I'm not sure if you are aware of that. And he is propelling an investigation on that stadium and the money that we lost with regard. Pardon?
Extension 9 why?
Extension 9 Stadium. Jobeton, yes.
Okay.
So we also need to find out the money that was deposited into that infrastructure that is not useful to our community. What is the status quo and what is the input? And we need answers on a public platform. Thank you.
So you are running the dual.
My niece and nephews can't play anywhere in Jobeton. Matlosana Stadium also.
You can see. We appreciate your dual participation. We really appreciate it. The next one.
Dumelang, ka lebitso ke nna Elizabeth Setsosa, ke ward committee ya mo ward 19 mo Klerksdorp le Klerksdorp. Majoko bothata bo ke nang le bona mo Klerksdorp. Mo dithabeng ka thabeng ka mora strata sa Ivanhoe. Ba khotse pipe ka mo, and it's for the second time.
Pipe ya
metsi. And e kena house number 40 go tloa ka tlung go ya ko strateng.
A ke bone o ba kwadile house number 40 pipe ya metsi. Nobody is writing. Or we are cramming. It's fine.
And bothata ba ke kopang le go thuse ka bona, hona le di batho ba dula mo strateng, ba dula mo Berman ka mo ntle ka kwa ne haibe hona le thuse le ka ba thusang ka na for metsi ba kreye metsi le bo di toilet ke kopo e ke kopanya.
Okay.
Yes.
Next speaker.
Dumela Majoro, ke Mmogo Satla bua from Ward 19 Klerksdorp. Majoro re na le bothata, ho na le ntlo ka moo ka Border Street ne. Ntlo e ke ntlo e sena motho batho e tjhisitswe ne le ntlo mo ho dula di-gangster ne. Di-gangster mo di dulang teng. Next to yona ho na le scrapyard ne. Always how do you look at there's no need to look because the time le resolve into your scrapyard na it like emola mo na ebete because batho ba di gangster ba dula ntlong yena ha ba qeta ho tswa ba kenya dintho mo ha ba qeta ba le dikisa scrapyard ke show address I think it's at 1 Border Street but ntlo yona e 30 Border Street ne Majoro ntho ngwa pepe re kopa go thusa ka yona ke Campbell Court or na Campbell Court batho ba ba dula mo ba molang hore ba dula teng because le na le di volunteers tsa bona mona na le batho ba votang ba bangata ba sebetse ba patala rent and ba phela ka tjhelete tsa bana tsa di-grant bana ba ntse ba sebetsa di-EPWP di-councils and hape ntho re na le lona bothata batho ba batjha mo ba dulang mo bana ba bona ba na le bothata ba kena dikolo mo toropong monana ba sokola hore ba kreye dikolo toropong kopa le go resolve ntho ya dikolo tsa bana ke bona bothata ba kena le bona.
All right. Tate Belebese.
Thank you, Raj. Your Worship, the Executive Mayor, Honorable Councillors, Directors, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tsepo Tokolo Belebese. I'm a resident in Lahore, Ward 16. Before I dwell much into the issues that I want to raise, I just thought I should commend the leadership of the municipality to say, indeed, you're on the right path. It's been a while since we've been engaged like this as communities around Matlosana, and we really commend and appreciate the good work that you guys are doing. But also to acknowledge that it's not going to be easy. You are going to be attacked left, right, and center. You're going to be criticized for this and that. But nonetheless, please, this whole team, stay focused. I just wanted to draw your attention, Your Worship, to two things. There's a street in Lahore. That street is called Louds. Louds. They call it Louds, but it's Louds. A street. That street, I don't know how many times municipal workers went there to patch potholes. In 1 year, I think they went there 8-9 times. 8 to 9 times, you know, and the work would still, they do quite a shoddy workmanship, which means internally we don't have enough capacity, one, by your tools of trade, two, your supervision. If you had a good supervisor, he would know that this is shoddy workmanship and therefore we can't claim to be us servicing the community. So I'm saying perhaps we should zoom into an issue of creating internal capacity within the municipality to ensure that the municipal employees are able to deliver services to the people. And with particular reference to roads, and I must say, and I'm sure the DA councillor in my ward, Jackie Basson, would also agree, the water department, thus far, that's the best team ever. And I think you must let them know, because we need to give them accolades once they're still alive, you know. But I'm worried about the road section. The supervision is bad. There's no quality control. People just do shoddy job. And I think the problem is that there is no consequence management. Right from director level, if the director is not performing, the director must be held accountable for the quality of the work that is being done in our streets. That street is bad, and the amount of money that has already been spent there is way too much. We should have had a very good surfaced road in that area. The one other point that I wanted to raise with yourselves, Your Worship and your esteemed team, the question of your town planning and enforcement of bylaws. Your town planning division, this mess that you see here in town, has got its genesis with town planning. Because if your town planning was doing the right thing, you wouldn't be having a town where you get a building that was originally designed to house 3 shops, all of a sudden is housing 13 shops. The clogging, for the first time ever since I was born, I grew up in the city. I have never seen sewer spillages or water leakages here in town. But because your infrastructure in town is clogged by 1,000 hair salons that are there and fish and chips shops that are pouring the fat and oil onto your infrastructure, which gets it to be clogged, makes the water to be spilling in the streets there. So I think we should really zoom into the town planning division of the municipality and say, guys, let us work together. Let us correct the situation. It can't be that we would be here today talking about the urban decay that is primarily having its genesis from the custodian, which is the municipality. It's a problem. Thirdly, Your Worship, I understand that our municipality is not liquid. In fact, our municipality is technically insolvent. So as a result, you will not be able to deliver the quality of services that you would want to on the basis that you are not liquid. And so perhaps what we need to do is to also zoom into some of the functions that are outsourced. That maybe from now onwards, for the next 6 months, all the tenders that are coming to an end of those functions that ordinarily should be done by the municipality, we should start to find a way of training our people internally, ensuring that they have tools of trade, so that we insource some of these functions gradually, so that all the money that we are paying to external service providers, we are then able to optimize service delivery on the basis that we have enough internal revenue and capacity. Your Worship, we have vehicles that some are obsolete. Scrap them, sell them. You know, some of them take them to auctions. But most importantly, let us also ensure that our mechanical workshop internally, we see as to whether we can't improve in fixing some of these things, because some of these things are small things to be really outsourced. Bigger things that we think we don't have capacity internally to resolve mechanically, then I think we should outsource. But we must begin a process of trying to insource and find ways, creative ways of having enough revenue base. The last point, Your Worship, is that I have noted the oncoming mega projects to the city, which, you know, to me, this was supposed to have been done moons ago, if we were prudent enough at the time, because we were supposed to have foreseen that at some point our mining industry is going to be obsolete, because that's where we're heading. We're not yet at the total obsolescence level, but where we are, our mines, the economic activity that was created by the mines has dwindled tremendously. I think if mine A was employing 100 people, it's now employing 8. So that's the extent. I'm just trying to make an illustration to say, the fly machine haditla, the project fly machine, I think we should embrace it, and we should make sure that we protect these kind of investments which are going to create much needed economic activity within our area. The last point, Your Worship, is to say, can we please go and lobby for an institution of higher learning to be here? We used to have Value University of Technology here. It left. The leadership at the time did nothing to stop it from leaving our city. And the amount of economic activity that it brought to our city is insurmountable. Potchefstroom, besides all the other smaller contributors to the economic activity in Potchefstroom, the university is the hub, is the center. Your intellectual capacity is enhanced by the presence of an institution of higher learning. So let us please try to find a way of asking Valley University of Technology or any other university or an institution of higher learning for that matter to come back to the city. I thank you.
But you clap your hands selectively. When you started Belebesi, you clap. On others, you don't clap. I see this biasness. We note it. The next, how many hands are left behind? I think the last two hands, ne? Yeah, only last. That's last two hands. You did not raise. You are raising it now, ne? Yeah, the last two hands, and then we get into the responses.
Greetings, Majoro. Greetings to everyone who's also here. I'm Tomisani Mtiani. I'm in Ward 31 in Adame View. I'm here to actually, firstly, thanks for actually advocating and mentioning. I've been here for a couple of minutes now. You've been mentioning about people with disability and also women and also elder people. So I'm, for one, a person with disability, and there is a lot that I am not happy about. First and foremost, it's very difficult to survive in this world. You need to have money, and when you have a disability, you are limited on ways of making money. So people with disability are experiencing a lot of problems in terms of getting employment, in terms of advancing in business. So we've seen nationally that the president said he would be happy to achieve 3% on employment of people with disability, and also maybe 7% in terms of business inclusivity for people with disability. So I would like to find out what protocols or model that you have in place that is going to advance people with my problems, for instance. And also in terms of putting us in employment. I've struggled for quite some time to get employment. I'm a graduate engineer. I did metallurgical engineering. I struggled so much to get employment because of not having a leg. I have an honors degree in metallurgy, but up till this day, I've only been doing research work, and I decided to go into business because I'm not able to get that practical experience in the mining sector so that I can advance myself. So I would like to find out from you, Majoro, and also MMC for corporate, I heard her speaking about employment and opportunities in terms of interns and service training, if I may say. I would like to find out how can I be, this is a mining city, for instance. It should not be as difficult as it is for me to find employment to advance myself. I already have the papers, but it's been difficult for me to find that opportunity. So on behalf of people with disability and me also being there, I would like to know the proper channels that you are gonna put in place to actually integrate us into the system, to be empowered financially, to be liberated, and to also get employment for those who want employment. I'd be very happy if we can actually clarify on that. And lastly, the office that we have there for people with disabilities, it doesn't bring hope, if I may put it that way. You go to library, you just lose hope instantly when you go there. You go there with problems, hoping that you're gonna find help. But the environment that you get into, it does not make you believe that you might get help. So I would also like for you to actually fix that office so that people who go there can get a hope before even putting their story on the table. I think that is all I can say. Thank you for listening.
All right. On that one, I think we must resolve it. It's one issue that needs attention. That's why I've raised it in the office in the office of the mayor. Okay, Mr. Dumisani, in the office of the mayor, there is a desk for disability. There is a person in the office of the mayor who's paid to look specifically for that. Isn't that Mahini? Okay, Dito, where are you? He's here. They're saying you are not bringing hope, Chief. You will bring hope after this meeting, or it's someone else. So you are going to have the discussion with Tate Mahini. Now, I'm very interested in the skill. You see, we must appreciate rare skills that the country needs, and metallurgy is one of them. That is why I'm responding on this one. So I'm the chairperson of something called the mandating committee. I chair that committee. Mandating committee is a committee that speaks with the mines on the SLPs, on their social labor plans that they are having and they are giving the municipality. And I'm having a series of meetings with them next week. I've chased them away last week because they said the mines don't have money. I said, if you don't have money, you could have packed and went back where you come from. But because you are still here, it means there is money. So go and think about what is it that you are going to give us that is tangible, that is going to speak to skills development, speaks to our infrastructure and many other things. Now I'm interested in this case study of metallurgy. So Ntate Mahini, you must take the numbers of that Dumisani, and I must have a discussion with him so that as I prepare for an engagement with those guys, he's one of the people in the agenda. This is a rare skill that we must appreciate so that many others can be motivated to join that route. So that thing, you must attend to it very quickly, as soon as yesterday. The next speaker.
Thank you, the Executive Mayor and the community of Matlosana. Without waste of any time, my request is very small, but it's big to us as the citizen of Ward 39. I reside at Matlosana Gardens, yes. My request is direct to Ntate Stafford of the road between Flora and Willow Street. We are now in the season whereby we will be facing rain, and now the problem is that we have the water that is going to block there, and when we are in town we cannot go back to Matlosana Gardens because the taxis can't pass there. If you can assist us with that one quickly, because now once we start to face the rain, we struggle to enter to where we reside. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The last hand, and then we get to responses. Oh, that it's yet. But you did not raise the hand. That it's yet. Let's let it.
Kintate tsietsi like Mayoral bua ke Masiga Sfane dumelang batho nna ke nna le mathata Mayoral ka di store tse di motse ha di re thuse ka next di store tse di motse ha di ka vandaliziwa go agiwa ditoro tse di right for batho ba rona ba kgone go rekisa batho ba tla ba tswe mo strateng ke taba ya pele eo taba ya bebedi ke di phaka tsa rona o kgone le go tswa le girlfriend ta ga go dula fela no drink ya nong re thuseng ka di phaka di ne clean di bele di light go batla dula o ftlhela ka 80 da so go di phakeng wa ntla logana ya ke yona eo. Another thing ke flat since ka nako ile ya khale din Imbizo di tshwarwa man re bua ntho e one every time flat ena re kopile lo e re thusiwe masipala re thuse because ya kolota why masipala o sa e khoto o tseye flat e le khona go generate tšhelete for this municipality ke ntho e re kopang every time batho ba lona ba metsi ha ba fetsa go hepa after they dig ha ba katele ba tlogela fela yalo yana re no tlhoka di inspector ba ileng go ba tla inspector ditsela jwalo ka pele go nona le di inspector re tlhoka di inspector tse di checkang ditsela gore di right tse di checkang gore metsi a right tse di checkang motlakase go right motlakase no a tsa bua ka motlakase because anyway go motlakase ba checka no ba checka because mo go gong ke ndula ke ba lwana le inspector tsa teng ya no ha le ka re thusa ka dilo tse Mayoral ra geleng di store tse di right. Thank you.
All right. Let's get now to the responses. And firstly, let me appreciate the honest reflections of the city. I think that is why we are engaging in this exercise. Because we have realized that as the city we've been inward in most of the time. We did not extend it to our people. That is why sometimes our judgments are not informed. So we had to open this to our people so that they are able to also contribute to the direction that the city must take. Because this is the city of the people. So that is why we are engaging with the people. But this exercise does not end here. It's also part of the exercise where we are taking stock to a campaign that we are launching immediately after the Imbizos of your Infra Wednesdays. Now the Infra Wednesdays are going to speak into the development of each and every township, where every week we will decide that we are taking all our resources to a particular area and we make an impact. Everything else, and we go to that area, we say we're in town this Wednesday, we are going to leave that area in a different state, from roads to water to everything, because sometimes this sporadic approach does not have an impact. So the Infra Wednesday, it was just to increase or to enhance the capacity, in particular on the impact. So those Infra Wednesday will continue up until the term of office ends. So that's what's going to happen. Now I'm going to start with the last to go up. The most important issues that I've touched. The first one that comes out a lot is that we should hold directors accountable because they are the ones who are receiving performance bonuses and all these other things. Or what is it? It's not performance bonus. What do you call it? You don't receive that? Oh, but they don't. We'll have that discussion after. Yes. So they say you will have it until the service deliver. But it's an issue we'll discuss with corporate. Maybe the understanding is not the same. But that are corporate. You perform, come. Don't speak there. You want to speak, come. You perform, you must speak, come. You wanted to speak. Yes.
All right. Mayoral was just saying that in terms of our employment contract, we must perform according to our performance agreement.
Yes. It's very straightforward. Perform according to the performance agreement. And I think that agreement speaks of nothing else but your targets. And those targets are directly linked to service delivery because they cannot be outside of service delivery. So I think we're moving in the same line. We are fine. Now, this is what is going to happen. There's a general issue that they are raising that we must hold you accountable. I think you have heard many of them. And when I start all my Imbizos, you'd notice that I did a roll call on directors. So that when we speak, they must note and go and implement what is said by the people. So that I did the same with MMCs. So that the MMCs must then do oversight over the directors. So that what people have said is implemented and is being monitored. So that we have value for money in terms of the services. And it speaks to the issue that is being raised of shoddy work that is being done by us. And it also coming out very hard. We dig, after digging, we don't close. We patch potholes, in the next 2 days, they are flushed by water and so forth. So it's basically no work done. We are just taking money, throwing it into the drain. And yet we complain that we don't have money. So we need to look into that. And this is not what I am saying. And I confirm what has always been my assertion from what I'm hearing from the people. The other issue is that I think when I did my budget speech, all of you would remember, and that is why you are saying you are happy that your issues are included as incorporated in what you have said. But no answer, you will get the answers. The first step, you know, Biggie Macmir, ons gaan vorentoe. Ons gaan vorentoe, moenie worry nie. Ons gaan vorentoe. Now, the approach of the budget says we increase on revenue collection and we cut on expenditure. That is the approach of the budget. Now, that says to you, when you cut on expenditure, you then have to deal with outsourcing and build internal capacity in the municipality. Now, those that you can do on your own, why do you outsource them? I think you have seen that we have bought vehicles that are already on the road to do the switching off and switching on, because we are building internal capacity. There is no need for us to employ a person to do that for us. That's the direction we are taking. And we are going to do it with many other programs, especially the ones that are already, the contracts have ended. We do an assessment as to, do you really need this? If you don't need it and you can do it internally, why not? Because you can't say that you don't have money, but yet you take money out on things that you can do on your own. But that will also speak on job creation, because if you start looking into it, you will realize that as the municipality, you don't have capacity and skill. If you can check and you do assessment, particularly in your technical related departments, our capacity is not satisfactory. We don't have enough engineers. That is why we have show the work and all these other things. We have to increase and build capacity internal. Your water, your roads, and. Once we start looking into dealing with building internal capacity, we'll at the same time have an edge to employ and address the issue of unemployment with skills, not just any unemployment, with skills. The issue of skills audit is there, it's ongoing, it's happening, because it must speak to consequence management that must happen from top to bottom. It must not be limited at the top, so that it must also have an impact there at the bottom, because you have also other people that necessarily don't want to do anything because they can't be held accountable based on how their performance management is being structured. Now they can't be touched. Now it must cut across so that everybody who is in the employ of the municipality is held accountable. So that's the direction that we are taking. We have noted all the issues around the billing system that I want to believe that it should be the priority of finance BTOs. These are not the things that are new. We've heard them before. Let us just make sure that some of the things, you just need to do them. They don't need an Imbizo. There are things that we just take out of the box and move. And there are others that are long-term that we must deal with. The issues of the tree, pruning of a tree, is not an issue that is supposed to be discussed in Imbizo, because we must inherently do that thing, so that we don't come here and address it because somebody was being attacked and we are addressing its action, reaction, service delivery. Is not correct. We must work so that the people must say that we see you. Not work because you are reporting every day and you respond and you think that you are working. You are just doing the same thing every day because we are reporting, do it, report, do it. Do things that you can, in a month, you are not doing those things, you are doing something else. Preventative now. You do preventative maintenance. What we are doing now is not preventative. We are responding to problems every day. Now we should respond to them in such a way that we sit for a week or a month without a sewer, and we start building more capacity so that we can sit for 6 months without a sewer, and ultimately a year without a sewer. That's how we should work. So we have heard all the issues that are raised. The issue of the market, some of these things to us are new. Remember, we don't know everything. That is why we have an Imbizo. Our people know a lot of things that don't come to us. I went to Kuma, somebody else was saying to me, you know why there's this sewer? And I said, I don't know. And we were here, and they said this thing is because a contractor came there and did not connect that pipe properly. That is why you have this problem. And when we do the investigation, it was true. Now it speaks also to supervision. How do we hand over such projects if we did not check what we are paying for is what we have ordered? Now, these are the issues that are raised by our people, are not the issues of Mahlope. Now, when we come back to another session, we should be saying, we have dealt with, from your 10 issues, we have managed to deal with 8 issues. And we are left with 2. And the reason for us not to have these 2 is this and that and that. Then the people will say, now, do it this way, because that way is not working. That is consultative governance. Now, if we don't consult and you don't account, we are not going anywhere. The issue of the mega projects that are coming, because the municipality is not a sole employer. We can't rely on the municipality to employ people. Let this project be opened to people in terms of businesses, skills, and any other opportunity that is given to them. Your airport issue, the issue of the solar farm, Amia Power, that is a IPP project from National that is commencing, the issue of the project that is coming on the gas to power, that we have donated land to the province and there's going to be a development around that. Let those projects be given to the people, advertised in all fairness, so that we also take away the weight as the municipality. I mean, if you advertise 200 posts of general workers, and how many applied? How many? 14,000. It says to you, we have a problem. You advertise 200 posts, you've got 14,000 applicants from the city of Matlosana. But you have projects that people don't know about, that are taking place and so forth. But you are not telling the people about those projects. And that is important, that we must make sure that these projects are on the newspapers. LED engages with the SMMEs and so forth. Hence I spoke of a deliberate program of LED to work together with supply chain to incubate SMMEs, so that we know that as the municipality at some point we have incubated 10 young people who are now can stand on their own and do their own things. Now, we need to do all those things. I have said it and I'm going to repeat it. I want to wake up one day where I will have a young person says to me, I got employed in the municipality because I did not have a connection. I want to wake up to that day, where a young person will just come to us and say, you know, I applied, I qualified, and I was called. I didn't speak to anybody in the municipality. There was due process that was followed, and I was appointed on merits. Now, we need to build that kind of a municipality that is open, that is fair, that will give people services not because who you are and so forth. Because when you pay, we don't say who you are, you must pay. We want everybody's money so that we sustain the municipality, because the municipality is a business. We can't be a municipality that is reliant on grants. It will limit us. Grants are there, fair and all good. But this municipality has got a capacity to sustain itself. We are not doing much, but we have seen instances where we generate to a point where at least we can pay ESCOM. It shows to us that all not is lost. There is hope. But if we can work together and make sure that the municipality is going to a particular direction. The last one that is important and is a problem is this CBD. This CBD is a problem. And the sooner we tackle it as such, as a problem, the better. These small shops, you know, Ntate Belebese is raising something very technical and It just says to us that it seems as if we are not looking into other things. The increasing of the capacity of the people here, which has led to a now new phenomenon of a sewer. It's true. You have this small things, this one is doing that. I was standing in one of the shops here. Some guy just came and threw things just in front of me. And I had to move away. He did not even care, and he went back into his shop and continued as if life is fine for him to do that. Now, we are not xenophobic. We are going to tell the truth. And if we tell the truth, sometimes it's misinterpreted as being xenophobic. The shops that are owned by foreign people, we always see them having cats on top of the food, in social media and all these things. And it's not good, it's not well. We need to go into them, inspect them, because we run a risk of giving our people poison and killing them. And at the same time, they make money from killing the people. So they must comply. We must go and make sure that they comply, both from documentation to what they are giving us, to the structures that they are occupying. And we bring back the dignity of the city of Matlosana. The city of Matlosana used to have cameras here and all these things, that we used to work with private securities on all those things. Some of the good things that were good, why do we get rid of them and not revive them? Let's revive the good things that we have seen happening and that have kept the city properly where it used to be. If we don't do that, I'm telling you, this city will be a ghost town. This city is going to be a ghost town. And it will be upon us that one day we were here leading and the city became a ghost town. The issue of the university is very important. We need to engage around that and see how we revive, because it's going to speak also to the economic spin-offs of the city. There's going to be a lot of activities in the city. I was saying to the team that, do you know that our auditorium is one of the best auditoriums in the country? We're only using it for funerals and meetings. We don't appreciate what is it there for. Yes, well, fine, good, it's a venue, we can use it for funerals. But if you get into that building, go at the back, it's a theater. It's got rooms at the back, changing rooms and all these things. And if that theater can be revived, you would have what is happening in your Tshwane State Theater, in your all these other state theaters. They bring life into the city. Just next to where there's a theater, you'll have coffee shops, you'll have lifestyle shops, not these pantokis that we are having. And we should be thinking out of the box from an economic point of view. And I was saying that we can't associate LED with market. LED as a market. The LED concept is very broad. Now, when we come into Matlosana, but LED, market. LED is about the economy of the city, job creation, sustainability of this economy, people who are participating, making sure that money circulates within the city, and we build that muscle. So we need LED that is going to think out of the box. But it can't think out of the box if it's not consultative. It must be an LED that consults and get advices on the people, from the people, to say, these are the ideas we are having and so forth. But don't steal the ideas of the people and implement them as if they are yours. Some of these ideas, they are trademarked. Give people credit for the work that they are doing. You see, a person comes there, a young person says, I've got this idea. Tomorrow you are implementing it without even saying, we noticed that you brought this idea. It's a problem, it's demoralizing. So we must start to do things properly. I'm not going to waste time because now it's already 5 minutes to 8. I want to appreciate all your contributions and commit that we are going to try our level best in implementing 60 or 70% of these things that you are raising, so that when we come back, at least we are left with 30% or 20% and we do them. And we commit to you that The doors of the municipalities are open. All these things must not end in the Imbizo. But also to appreciate that we do have men and women in the municipality who are working very hard. Of course, you'll have 3 or 5 apples that will want to contaminate these other ones, but we must root those apples out. Take them, remove them if they are problematic. Work with the team that is prepared to do the work. If people don't want to work, they must stand aside and allow people that want to work to do the work. There is an issue that has been raised by the CFO and so forth that you read on the newspapers and everything. It will be very unfortunate if we behave as if we did not hear it. We have heard it is an issue that is sub judice, that the municipality is giving 100% attention into it, following all processes that are taking place, that are legislated within the municipality. And once these processes are completed, the citizens of Matlosana will be given a response, and they will know that these are the actions we have taken to deal with those issues. It's not only that issue, there are many issues around that has to deal with the issues that you are reading or hearing of in the social media. But for us not to compromise these processes, I would not divulge as to how far we are with the process and what is it that we are doing internal. But we note that you have raised it as the citizens and you are saying it needs attention. With those words, thank you very much and may God bless you.
Thank you.